Alright, so welcome back guys, or welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'll be giving you guys my review for Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 3, Alaska. Now, Fear the Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way some more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, we got the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 3, Alaska. Now, this is another solid episode. I don't know if I'd say it was as solid as the first two, but it definitely is another solid episode. Now, we got Dwight and Al in this episode. Now, this is an episode pretty much just them. You got a teeny bit of Morgan in the beginning, not really much to go over. It's just him making a new weapon, connecting his staff to his new weapon he got from a meal, so I really like that. And you got some back and forth between him and Rachel, talking about how he doesn't want to lose himself and he's afraid he'll be a different person once his friends, he reunites with the rest of the group. And then you got Rachel just reassuring him that his friends will still see him as the same person. Nothing really too significant there. But then again, you got just this whole thing in regards to Al and Dwight. Now, they're not in any community. They have been sent out as like a scouting party. Their job mainly is to go look at other camps and see how they fell or how they're doing and see what caused certain camps to like fall and not make it. That way, the original camps can know about that and make sure that they don't go down that same, go down the same line, which I really like, and it actually is an interesting concept, and it's a good idea. I think it's actually something that should be done in The Walking Dead, so I really like that. Now, while they're out on their scouting mission, you got Al and Dwight who are clearing out a funeral home. Now, while they're doing that, you got Al who hears Isabel on the walkie, and she ends up talking with Dwight about it. And I really like this. I think the pairing of Dwight and Al was perfect, especially for this episode, because you got Al who wants to see Isabel again, but knows what could happen if she sees her again. And then you got Dwight who's looking for Sherry. So you got these two characters who have these love interests who are looking for them. So I really like that. And so you got them, and you got Isabel giving out coordinates of where she might land. Now, she doesn't tell this to Al. Al just happens to be on the channel. So Al hears that and thinks that this is her opportunity to go and meet up with Isabel again. And Dwight goes to accompany her on her mission. So I really like that. There is a reason why they are going to the building. It's not just her wandering off looking for Isabel for no reason. She knows that she's going to land there, and she has a deadline to get there by. So I really like that. It made sense, and it actually fit in well with the story. So then again, you got them going to this office building where Isabel and the chopper are supposed to land. So this is a really good thing. Now, one thing I also gotta say is this: they get into this skyscraper, and one of the things I loved about this episode is usually when you go into these like dark buildings and stuff like this, they do this thing where it's like very, very dark, so you can't really see. However, they didn't do that with this building, so I really like that. Gotta give them props there. And they end up running into a few survivors. Now, Dwight says that he wants to help them because they are sick. However, you got Al who says that they can't help them and that it's too risky because they have the bubonic plague. Now, I like this. This is something different from the Walking Dead universe. I know we got the flu in season 4, the main show, but this is something different. This is an old, out-of-date, virus that it wouldn't usually happen, but it's the apocalypse. So, of course, this will happen. So, it makes sense, and I really like that. And I also like how Al knows this. She was a reporter. She's been out in the field, so she would notice. It gives reason as to why Al knew this information. So they continue on their plight, and I really like this episode because you get Al away from behind the camera and doing the whole videoing and want to know people's stories, and you actually can see she cares about people. Like with the game with how they're collecting the different IDs, you can see how she cares about these people, how they used to be people, and how later on when Dwight gets bit by one of the rats getting the plague, she actually cares about him, saying that she feels sorry that she brought him on this mission, and Dwight says no, he wanted to come on this mission. So I like that it shows her side of caring, not the annoying part that we saw in the past 2 seasons of I want to know your story and just this whole camera stuff. So I really like that. It was really good. They did have some point of view from the camera, but it wasn't really much. So I kind of give that a pass. It wasn't totally something that bothered me. It was just there for a few minutes. But like I said, you got Dwight who helps them, and while they're trying to get through the building, they end up walking. I think her name is Nora, and some of the other survivors downstairs do the whole bubonic plague thing. And like I said, while they're trying to get to the roof, they got Dwight who gets bit by one of the infected rats, and Dwight decides to go and help the group find the pharmacy and try to find antibiotics to help them cure the bubonic plague, while Al continues on her mission to go to the roof and meet with Isabel. So I like that. Now, once Al does get to the roof, she does hear Isabel and the plane coming. However, she tells Isabel not to land as it's not safe there, and pretty much gives up her one chance to be with Isabel again. Now, I don't understand totally this. Is it due to the whole bubonic plague thing, or is this just Al realizing that, this is the right thing, she shouldn't reunite with her because she could be killed? I don't really know that. And I'm okay with it because I really don't care too much about Isabel, and her returning isn't something I care for, nor do I really kind of want to see. So I really like that. It does use that connective tissue with the show, so I do like that. So once Isabel leaves, she does find this there's this container on the roof that they use to drop off, I guess, supplies and stuff there for the CRM people. And there is beer, and I like the whole ongoing gag in the episode about the beer and the pretzels. That was always something I really liked. Now, while she's up there, she does find antibiotics in that box, because you got Isabel who tells her that there is alcohol in the container, and when she goes to find it, there are antibiotics there that help them with the bubonic plague. Now, this is something I kind of get annoyed about, because it's just convenient writing, but at the same time, I like it. It fits in, because you would imagine that the CRM has a stash of stuff in case of emergency, so it makes sense that they might have a stash of medicine there. So that I'm kind of taking off points there, but not at the same time. So she tells Dwight to stay in the building, and she comes down, and they pretty much give the people the antibiotics and go on. Now, the new character Nora wants to go with them to Ginny's group. However, throughout the episode, they continue to say it's not safe there, you don't want to go there, even though Nora continues to say that she wants to burn her people there. Now, at the end of this episode, they do find this spray can and this stuff where they realize that someone else might be responsible for the killing of the poisoning of these people. And we do see on the wall of the building that someone spray painted the end as the beginning, similar to the guys at the end of episode 1 who painted it on the submarine. Now, I don't really want to see these guys be another main villain. I hope they're more like a gate guardian character and not just a whole extra villain. Now, another interesting part is maybe Virginia's the gate guardian character and these guys are the real villains. I don't know. It's kind of confusing at the moment, so I'm just kind of confused. It's nothing big right now. I'm just waiting to see how it plays out, so not taking off any points there. But at the end of the episode, you got Dwight who hears a voice on the radio, on the walkie, because Al had shut off a flare when she planned to meet up with Isabel, and it attracted this person, and it's revealed on the walkie that it's Sherry. And at the end of the episode, you just got Dwight reuniting with Sherry. Now, this is something I'm so glad that they did it here. I'm glad they didn't drag it out to the mid-season finale or something. Having it in episode 3 is perfect. No need to drag it out much longer, and that's just something I'm glad about. Now, usually I would get upset about this because they do kind of do this whole slow motion running to each other to reunite. However, at the same time, they didn't do it in total slow motion where it was ridiculous, where they have done it sometimes in shows. So I'm not taking off points there. They actually did it in a realistic way and not cliche-ish, over-the-top slow motion. So I really like that. Now, this also brings into the possibility of how Dwight and Sherry end up with Morgan, because we know that they're going to be with Morgan in episode 5. Now, we did hear that Dwight had an endgame plan in the event that he ran into Sherry while they were still in talks with, and still under the rule of Virginia, and he told Al earlier in the episode that if that was the case, he would fake his own death by a walker. So I'm assuming that's the plan. I'm also wondering if that's gonna be what Al does too when they end up with Morgan, along with Grace and her people. But also at the same time, from what I understand, it was said that Sherry was with Virginia's group, so I don't know how that's also gonna work, since Dwight doesn't want to be with Virginia's group, and we don't know how Sherry feels about Virginia. So I'm very curious to see how that will play out. Overall, I thought it was a very solid episode. Another great one. I'd probably give it an 8.5 grade for this episode. I gave the other ones, I think, 9s and 9.5s. This one just wasn't as good, but it was still a really great episode, solid episode. So 8.5. I know people have said it's a bad episode, like it harkens back to the past 2 seasons. I highly disagree, and I think the people who are saying that are people that just hate Al, because I know Al's a very much hated character among the OG Fear fans, so I think people who are saying that are just characters that hate Al, and the ones that don't like that Dwight's on this show. So I really think that that plays into a lot of people's factors as to why they hate this episode. But I honestly gotta say, I do think this is a solid episode, and I think that season 6 has definitely gotten off to a great start and definitely an improvement over the last 2 seasons. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Fear the Walking Dead season 6 episode 3, Alaska. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And you can go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are linked in the about section of my YouTube channel. As always, it's been Vision here, my boy Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.